Howdy do, everyone. You know who I am, your chief slop, content operator, supreme misfit, professional dipshit ETTemplar, and there's something I came across recently, kind of a weird rabbit hole I went down, and there's other videos like this. There's the Point St. Esprit incident. You should check out a video I did, and I did one on MK Ultra and MK Often. You should check those out. Those will be at the end of the video if you want to check those out. So, if you look at history with the LGBTQIA stuff and certain other behaviors, in the Bible, it goes back to Sodom and Gomorrah. And I don't know if we can say too much about that here on YouTube, but those of you who are learned know what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah. And it is my theory that the LGBTQIA stuff is connected to just demonology and evil spirits, and what we're going to be talking about today is it actually links back to an ancient god or goddess worship, and there's some interesting correlations that reside with what's going on with LGBTQIA, why they have trans storytime hour, drag shows. We're going to get into it, and if there's links to any form of ancient god or goddess, usually I just antiquate that to Nephilim, and then from Nephilim to evil or satanic origins. That's just my opinion. Everyone else has a right to think so. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And this kind of blew my mind, and maybe it will blow your mind too. So here we go. The Inanna Ishtar, the ancient Mesopotamian goddess of gender fluidity, rainbows, and pride. So there is some kind of weird, fucked up connection with this new modern, like, angle Marxism and sexual liberation and all this weird stuff. So let's get into it. It sounds like you're referring to Inanna, also known as Ishtar, in the Akkadian mythology, a prominent ancient Mesopotamian goddess who embodies themes of gender transformation, queerness, and even symbolic ties to rainbows and modern pride celebration in June. She's one of the earliest and most well-documented deities associated with transgender and non-binary entities dating back to around 4,000 to 2,000 years ago. So 2,000 years ago. I think if you follow Christian creation belief, the earth is 3,000 years old. So this goes quite literally to the beginning of time from Genesis and the falling of the angels. So do with that as you will. 2000 BCE in Sumer, modern day Iraq. And of course, there's a lot of other weird gods and stuff that come from there. Let me break this down for you, drawing from historical and mythological sources. So here we go. Thanks to Grok AI for cobbling this together, making me sound more intelligent than I am. But let's keep going. Who is Inanna and Ishtar? 4 domains. Inanna, the queen of heaven, goddess of love, sex, fertility, beauty, war, and justice. She was incredibly powerful and multifaceted, fierce in battle, often depicted standing on a lion, and seductive in romance. Her symbols included the 8-pointed star, representing Venus, and morning evening star, of course. That star is also called the morning star, also called the star of Lucifer, son of the morning star. And of course, Lucifer fell from heaven, so we're already seeing the connections line up. And the color red for her feminine aspects contrasted with blue lapis lazuli for her masculine side. Gender fluidity. Inanna is often described as a gender fluid or transgender goddess because she could change the gender of others and blur the lines between male and female herself. In myths like her descent to the underworld, she transformed her holy priests from masculine to feminine roles, e.g., turning warriors into lamentation singers who wore women's clothing and performed women's work. This act symbolized her power over gender boundaries, making her a patron of those who didn't fit binary norms. Of course, this connects to the weird Gnostics who believe in, I forgot the term, but there's a term, you'll have to forgive me, where they want to combine both sexes and make it like not androgynous, Oh man, I should have looked up that word. Um, Not hermaphroditic, but it's something where there's no male or female. They're both one. And some kind of weird that's linked with Gnosticism. That's a whole nother video altogether. Her cult included gala priests, transgender or intersex individuals who adopted female names, wore makeup, and engaged in same-sex relationships. And Kurgara, the Galater figures, gender, non-conforming emissaries who lamented in either fully male or fully female voices. These roles were sacred and exalted, showing ancient acceptance of diverse genders in religious contexts. There's so the references for these I'll put in the links in the description down below if you want to check them out yourself. The Rainbow Connection. Inuana Ishtar isn't directly a rainbow goddess in ancient texts. There are more. That's more the Greek iris messenger symbol. However, contemporary interpretations link her to rainbows through her role in queer history and pride symbolism. Of course, pride is one of the 7 deadly sins. Just putting that out there. One popular theory from queer mythology enthusiasts and videos posit that Ishtar's gender-blurring cults inspired modern pride parades. Though this is quite linked to, and theorized linked to ancient goddess worship. Pride parades with rainbows invoking her transformative boundary-crossing energy. So occultism. For instance, a 2023 analysis argues that celebrating transgender and non-binary people in June Pride Month echoes Ishtar's ancient festivals where gender-fluid worshippers paraded in ritual attire. Men dressing like women dressing like men. So you can kind of see the connections and where this is lining up. Symbolically, her dual colors, red for female, blue for male, blended into a rainbow spectrum or gender expression. And what do we hear by these modern sickos who say gender's a spectrum? We're going to the literally practices of an Inuana Ishtar goddess, a pagan religion that throws and disrespects God and Christ and the natural order. So we're already seeing the influences here and the occult's influences, and this should be scaring anyone that has any form of discernment or spiritual sense. So, some modern pagans and historians extend this to the rainbow as a bridge between worlds, much like Inuana's journeys between heaven, earth, and the underworld. And of course, not only that, them using the rainbow is a perversion, direct perversion of God's promise to Abraham as, I'm pretty sure it's Moses. Abraham, that the world wouldn't be destroyed by a flood. So the June Pride Month tie-in. June LGBTQ plus Pride Month, commemorating the 1969 Stonewall riots. While not ancient, Ishtar's legacy resonates here because her cults celebrated queer and trans identities millennia ago, long before modern labels. Articles on queer deities often highlight her during Pride for this reason, positing her as an ancestral figure of gender diversity. Festivals in her honor, like the Akitu New Year rites, involved public processions with music, cross-dressing, and gender play, proto-pride vibes in ancient Sumer. So there we go. There's the connections to a Pride Month, to an ancient god, which references Lucifer, the morning star, son of the morning star, and of course it's connected to the very origins and beginnings of the fall of the angels from heaven, Lucifer's rebellion against God. So, ipso facto, if you want to follow the occult, in my humble opinion, it follows a line of progression from ancient God to fallen angels, to Nephilim, fallen angels, and to the devil himself. That's just my opinion. If you find offense to this, well, I don't know what you're doing on a channel that's named ETTemplar, but I think you could probably guess where our stance and opinion on this goes. So I found this absolutely interesting that isn't it interesting how pride parades, of course, when people say it's demonic or occultish, it literally is directly to the 2,000-year-old Akkadian occult mysticism with a god that probably was Nephilim, that was derived from a fallen angel who was a servant to quite literally Lucifer. So I just found this interesting, the Inuana Ishtar connection. And yeah, I basically came across this on some reel somewhere. I was like, wow, I'm going to check that shit out. And I did. And I wasn't let down. So when you see Pride Month shit, when you see Trans Storytime Hour, when you see Pride parades, it's literally them bringing back this 2,000-year-old ancient occultic pagan blasphemy into the open, where then they hope to pervert and corrupt your children for this sick bullshit. And I don't know if my opinion on that, me saying that will get the channel struck. I don't really give a fuck. The truth is the truth. And yikes. So when you see this shit in public and when it's going on, there's no coincidence that there's a line of progression that if you track it through history, goes back straight to self. And that's my 2 cents on it. That's how I feel. That's what I believe. And yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Money. We gotta make some money. The sky.